So the mast fell down last night. We peaked at nearly 50 miles an hour, which is actually quite exciting. I think either one of my shackles let go or one of the ropes broke. Not what I was expecting. I was expecting the top aluminium to bend, but as straight as a die, and the whole thing has landed on the ground very elegantly. So I got on the phone this morning. We got a 2-day job. We got to take this down, replace 2 scaffolding poles, work out what the problem was. I reckon the rope broke. Okay, if it wasn't the rope, it means one of my shackles wasn't done up properly. So then we make a decision, because if everything else is intact, do we move to the Dyneema before we put 15 on? I don't know, but I think we should have a look at that. Anyway, let's get outside, work out what's gone wrong, and come up with a plan of taking it apart without breaking the rotator. So bets are on, eh? Rope snap, or I didn't do up one of the shackles properly. This is what you call a graceful ending. It's all right. I've got 4 scaffolding poles turning up, and at least we can get to the Yagi now. So we'll take this off. My God, the wind's something else. And we will gradually work out what went wrong. So the top guys are all in one piece, I believe. Aha. I've found a culprit. Or have I? Oh no, it's not that one. It's not this one. Well, something's gone, hasn't it? That's been held up very tightly indeed. Alright, let me walk around and work out what the hell failed. Most bizarre, you know, nothing's actually broken, which means I have actually worked out this rope's got more stretch than I thought it has, because that back guy is stretched 20% and it's still holding. So it's either stretched so much and then somehow inverted. I'll do some weird calculations. I've worked out how I'm going to take this down, by the way. I'll take the Yagi off. I'll loosen the clamshells and I should be able to walk this bit over to the north foursquare, and then we can drop the horseshoe over, if you know what I mean. But let me go in, have a cup of coffee, and then and prepare myself to come out and drop it down. I mean, now that I know what I'm doing, we can rebuild this in a day. But I really wanted to know what went wrong, because it's only when you know what went wrong is you can then learn from that. What I am learning is that rope's got way more stretch than I thought it ever had. I mean, like 20% or so. And I suppose once it's beyond a point of no return, maybe it just capsizes. So as it starts to, as the rope wants to start to, contract again, now all it's doing is putting it into a further horseshoe. I don't know. But there's tremendous pressure going on there, so we have to be very careful. So if nothing broke, that means that we had stretch. So what I'm just asking ChatGPT to do the maths of how much stretch we'd need on that top guy before it became inverted and started to pull it down. I reckon not actually much, probably, well, we're about to find out. Okay, so we have worked out, well, with the help of a machine, I've worked out that 10% stretch would have put that tower into a non-returnable function. In other words, you stretch that rope 10%. The guy itself becomes basically parallel to the mast. And now instead of pulling it back, it'll carry on pulling it down. So on a temporary basis, I'm going to go to 8mm rope because it's cheap. Or temporary, okay? So I can just get all the geometry right. Then we'll do the Dyneema as soon as that's done. That'll be, and I'll watch the weather like a hawk. All right, okay, fine. Problem solved. Next job is let's go and get it down. Right, first things first. Let's reduce the tension on that backstay because it is absolutely flimming huge. We'll need keys, hard hat. Because I can see the knot is fine, but this bottom stay, I'm not joking, is literally like a violin string. It's basically stretched a lot, and then the whole mast is sitting slightly backwards. So let's get it straight and get all the tension off it. Because this little holdback is going to be under a huge... Oh, it's working. Lovely. Aha, we're still stuck here. I just didn't want that breaking while I'm working, getting that Yagi off. So the plan I've got, I'll take the Yagi off, I'll loosen the clamshells on the 2800, and I will walk the whole mast over to the left, and then we should be able to just drop it down normally. So let's have a look. It's now hailing. I think what I'm going to try and do is just land it on the ground until this wind passes. I can't feel my fingers now. I'm just going to land it on the ground, dig it into the grass, stop it flying around. Whew. All right, I'd say it's kind of safe now, ish. Oh, I can't work out in this, I'm literally freezing. Oh my god, the wind's just gone. So we'll come back out, I think, when we can just lower it. I just want to learn, you know, I really enjoy breaking things, to be honest. But if you don't break it, you never know what the end game is, you know what I mean? It's the learning. I mean, I don't know anybody else that's really developed this falling derrick system. So it's great knowledge for the whole community. I would still recommend going with like an 8mm poly rope for the development, and then moving to a non-stretch rope after you've done the development. Otherwise you'd be cutting very expensive rope and losing, you know, yards of the bloody stuff. Right, warm up time. So I'm watching the screen at the moment, and I've come in because I'm not joking, it looks like a bit of a rainstorm coming in. So I think I'll just stay here for a bit and let this this storm pass by. I've got to say, I haven't checked the weather because you can see what it's like. It's absolutely crazy. By the way, now I'm putting away my stuff here on a temporary basis. Is that a lot of people say things like, oh, just buy yourself a lattice tower, but I'm afraid you are missing the point. This is like a really interesting, quite a cheap actually, experiment, which I think I've said all along. It should just be really, I mean, very few people have done this. And so if I can get it nailed right, then explain what the pitfalls are to you. I mean, the 2 extra poles is going to cost me about £40. Let me get this locked up, it's going mad. And I've spent another £30 on some slightly different rope, just on a temporary basis. 8mm rope. I won't be putting it up in a bloody window. And then as soon as sometime next week when we've got this rebuilt, we'll drop it all down and fit the Dyneema and get my splicing sorted. Heavens alive. Honestly, if this is what the wind was doing last night, it's no wonder the bloody thing come down. So as we'll raise the tower slightly and I'm going to walk around, but there's only 2 guys holding this up at the moment. On the other, flipping neck, on the other direction. Guy number 1, which is here, and that will get tighter and tighter as we move around because it's got a kink at the top. So I have to move it a little bit, come back, loosen this guy. So we need to lift the far end off the ground a tiny bit. Okay, it's going. Stay there. Oh, I don't want to put these clamshells under too much pressure. I just wanted to hold it in place, you know. All right. Hey, we're down. Give or take. And tell me it's going to land right on that signature 9 point. Alright, won't come down any further. I just wanted to make it safe, you know. Alright, that is really, really tight here now. So we'll doink it off, I think. Oh, I can't. Oh, I've got these turnbuckles, but oh crikey, that is really tight. Well, might have to cut it, but then it will go flying. It'll go flying into this. Okay. Okay, that's better. We are on the floor. Well, it's a great day here in sunny Warwickshire. I can tell you that the contrast between the wind and the rain and the hail yesterday and today's sunny with blue sky. I mean, it looks like a great DX day, but we just haven't got 20 metres. But I have found my little half-inch square drive for the, the electric gun, and then we can to take the couplers off, because that will just take a while otherwise. Get all the ropes out. We'll lay the new tubes over Ibe last night. There's no time like the present, okay? Now, I've just got one thing to say. Some people are kind of misconstruing or misunderstanding me. This whole tower thing, it has generally been a whole experiment. It has been for about a year and a half that people have been following along. I was actually expecting something to break. The thing I wasn't expecting to break was the rope to stretch. I was on the phone to Tom last night, M0RMY, now MM0RMY. He's up in the west coast of Scotland. A lovely plot there and some great low noise. And he happened to say to me, as I'm chatting, he got on the internet and he found a marine accident paper or something like that. It was a marine paper, which indicated that that poly rope has got a 22% stretch. 22%. I didn't know that. So something else we've learned. So yeah, we've got 8mm turning up, which if you do pi r squared is at least, well, it's nearly twice the amount of material. But poly rope's quite good just under general tension, but shock loads are slightly different elongation in the molecular structure. So if you heated plastic up and pulled it, it would go sort of spaghettified, wouldn't it? I think that's basically what happened here. I mean, so to me, that is interesting. If you really want my honest opinion, I actually thought the aluminium pole would be the first thing to go. And since it didn't, I would have suggested, or to pull out one of the guide plugs. Can you imagine that? But anyway, that didn't happen. So, I mean, all in all, good. Once we get this rope replaced, I think it should be a fairly robust system. The only thing I'm going to do, now that I've seen it up, is I'm going to move the top guide point up about 30 centimetres, so there won't be quite a separation between 20 and 15. But I've only got one aluminium pole left, so we can rebuild this, but I'll have to revisit how we're going to do mast number 2. And of course, Dyneema. I go on about Dyneema, and people say, well, what's this about Dyneema? So Dyneema is 15 times stronger than steel by weight, which means that, and it also floats on water. Does it? I can't remember. But anyway, ignoring that, we've got no water around here anyway. But it's very strong. So 6mm, which is about the size of a pencil, a regular, pencil, has a braking strength of 3,000 kilos. That's 3 tons, right? 3 metric tons. Working load is probably, 1,500 or something. I mean, way over. But it's only got a 3% stretch before it snaps, which means once this is up, it'll be like using a steel rope, okay? It'll just be rock solid. And I'm fascinated to know what that's going to look like. And Tom said to me, why don't you just start off with the Dyneema? The problem is, if I get the splice wrong, if I get it that much wrong, I've got all sorts of bloody problems. So if I'll string it up, I bought it only cost me £30, about $40, for 220 metres or 700 feet of 8mm black rope. which is 1 up from 6mm, just to re-prototype it again. And then when I'm happy with all the lengths, we can lower the tower, and I'll get the command tent out there, and I can do exact replacements on the Dyneema. But let's get out there with the ratchet, the socket drive, and whip all this apart. It's amazing. I've got to say, the scaffolding industry is absolutely amazing. And when I saw on the CCTV that this thing had fallen down yesterday, I immediately got on the phone. I spoke to like a big supplier. They go, oh, we only do hundreds, you know. Oh, that's no good. I spoke to like a distributor guy. He said, well, we don't actually do the poles, we just do all the bits. But have you spoken to like a hire company? Sometimes they'll send you a couple of poles. And he'd give me a lead, you know. So I'd call the next guy. I said, oh, you know, Joe, hello, Fred. Joe said, you know, to give you a call. Oh, yeah, I know, Joe. Before you know it, the guy said he could do imperial lengths, which is the old 20-foot scaffold pole. I didn't want 20 feet. I want 6 meters, which is another foot longer. It's about 21 feet. Only so I can replicate, you know, what I had. But he said, I could do you the 20-foot poles, but I mean, they're £5 each. That's about $7 or $8, right? You know, it's like, well, you know, have you got any 6 meter poles? Oh, but yeah, but they're full price. They're £15. £15! That's $20. And I said, well, I'll pay you £20 plus £10 delivery because he's around the corner. He said, yeah, okay then. So that was 4 poles, right? He obviously thought, oh, I'm making £10 too much because he's delivered 5. We've got 5 poles for £90, which I thought was a blooming good deal. Right, I've got the gun, got my 1/2-inch drive. Just need the tools out now. Gotta say, it's a cracking day, isn't it? I just got a bucket of tools. That, I mean, to be honest, once all this is done, I'll take these tools in because it will be damp out here. And as you probably know, tools don't like damp weather because they'll all rust away. Well, unless they're stainless, you know. And I have noticed that one of these is actually definitely stainless because it hasn't... Oh, it's this. That was out all one night. And that's fine. So we'll need this. We'll need the gun. Oh, no. The end's just flown off my 1/2-inch drive. There it is. Obviously didn't put it in tight enough or something. We should get all the couplers off with this, I think. Alright, there's no tension on that or anything. Let's put that on. Does that fit on? Yes. This will make life a bit quicker, won't it? Getting this off. Well, at least we know that the couplers are stronger than the pole, which is, you know, something else we've learned. Well, let's do one job at a time, shall we? Let's just get these off first, and then we can play. This one's not such under tension, but we have some lines under tension. That is really under tension. We'll have to cut it. Now I'm thinking, do I salvage this rope or not? I don't think so. What we'll do is we'll cut everything off, roll it all up, put it in a bag, and Holly Farm will dispose of it for me. One really important lesson, by the way, and I've done this before. When the falling derrick is up, you forget that this is a mast itself. So before we do anything, I'll lay the falling derrick down, then start cutting all the ropes. Otherwise, we'll lose this. I find sometimes a knife, unless it is super sharp, it's not the best for cutting rope unless that rope is under tension, and this one is. Oh, that's nice. Good Lord. Let's have a look at the end. What have I learned? I have learned that the rope's broken. It is now, it wasn't before. I might use my heavy coax cutters actually for the rest of this. Let's just see. These things. I sort of said dildo, but it's delda. Oh, you never know. I'll say it's absolutely blooming freezing today. Still, might look nice. Okay. Bit of tension. The barcode cutters would be better at this. I would have thought. But I don't know where they are. 1, 2, 3. Okay, this one's away. Is the pole sound? It's got a very slight bend at the end, which we could cut off and salvage that for mast 2. You can just see the bend at the end. Where is it? It curls, slightly to the right, look. Oh, this might be more of a hassle because... Oh, is that the tight one? It's one of the tight ones. It's not that tight. That's really tight. This will be fun. It's like an experiment. Hopefully you can see this. We'll go about a metre in. Way! So that pole should be free. So this is the very first guy point. Oh, that was tensioned, but it's moved slightly. Lovely. We can walk this alloy away now. After we've got the coax out. Lockie came out to ask me a question about something we were discussing, and while he was here, we thought he could help me lift this steel pole off. They'll never know. Don't tell them. If they don't watch this video, they'll never know. So much easier with a bit of tension. These work quite well. Right, I'm not cutting the falling derrick lines. The ones that hold it upright. Only these 3. So not that one, only these. On average per video, YouTube pays me between about £5 and £8. About $10. On a very good video, I might make, like over a year, £30, right? So if we get enough people watching this, it'll pay for the rope. So just reviewing these couplers, there's no bend at all. So I think we can safely say that under normal usage that these couplers work. They're from Barenco. There's the label, I'll show you. Barenco. Oh, it's upside down. Barenco. They do ship to the US, but your president has got this tariff thing. We don't pay the tariffs, by the way. You pay the tariffs. I don't know whether there was this idea that our country is going to pay these tariffs. We can't pay the tariffs if we wanted to. It lands at your end and you pay them. So whatever. I'm just reviewing these Yaesu thrust bearings, and I don't think I broke anything there, so which is handy. Okay, well, no time like the present. Let's get on with the rebuild. Forget how bloody heavy these things are. It weighs, I don't know, 35 kilos, 30. I mean, heavy enough, you know. To use an old military term, I'm not going to piss around. I'm actually going to bolt the first 2 poles together, and we'll raise it as a one as soon as the rope arrives. We'll be on the air in no time. I've learned quite a lot actually, because how to check yourself, what work, for instance, I've got to do these up really tightly. So of course now it's marked second time around. I just feel more comfortable with what I'm doing. I mean, we didn't have a nut and bolt failure last time, but I'm going to spend a good couple of hours going around everything. And I need to, I'll find a product. I sometimes used to use nail varnish, you know, on a little cheap nut and bolt, but I'll find some proper stuff. Not thread locker or anything, but I will find something so I can just stop vibration coming loose, that sort of thing. I don't know exactly where. Let's get the coupler, and my spanner is there, just in case I forget. Oh, we don't want to do this up yet, do we? Because we'll slide the next pole in, which we'll probably need a step ladder really just to bring it up to the right height. I've just got an opportunity to change things around. I had a bit more of a gap here. I'm going to keep it very low down because these are new-ish scaffold poles. The other one had a bit of a bend. I just had it down there, but I'm going to put it right up here, to be honest. And action. These are the little thrust tabs, so you don't accidentally end up putting nuts and bolts, putting the bolts directly onto the pole. They go onto these little thrust plates. And I've learned I've only undone 2 of these, so it should bed back in perfectly normally. And these didn't move, did you notice? At all. So that's something else that we've tested. I didn't know. I had no idea how these were going to perform really. A massive argument with someone on this channel actually a long time ago that I was using these upside down or the wrong application. I don't know what he was on about. I mean, I was really polite, but he was really vicious. First guide point is on. Who would have thought? In 24 hours, we're into full rebuild. This time it's going to be better. Of course it is. I'm already thinking how we can make it taller. I haven't undone them. Right, so I'll keep them that way up because it's easier on the gun. I think we should get the next pole. We will put here tools below the coupler. I've learnt to say things 3 or 4 times, otherwise I forget. Okay, we'll go in there. Get it balanced. Nice poles these. Very impressed. Lovely. I'm now considering exactly where I really put the second guide point. I'll think about that when I have a cup of coffee in a minute, because we might as well bolt that on too. So we'll do a basic torque up by hand, roughly. Or I wish I'd used this last time. A lot easier. It took me forever, you know. Steel has mass, doesn't elongate or bend as quickly as aluminium. When it does, it's normally catastrophic, as we've seen. But under normal circumstances, if I guide the first guide point here, and let's assume that was Dyneema, so in other words, it's not going to move at all. what is the point in me, other than for aesthetic reasons, not going the next one at the top of here? Other than the fact that, because then it would be completely rigid tower. But aesthetically, I want to put a guide point just over halfway up the aluminium pole, which means these two top guys will look very close together. So because of that, now that I've spoken to you about it and you've given me the advice, thank you very much, I will come down 1.25 meters from the top, which is roughly where I thought it was. I'll have to look back at the video. We could always move it. I will check tonight. 1.25, 1.3 meters, so about 4 feet. There we go. That's the little brackets. This is the coupler, which I put on the other way around. So I'm going to get a tape measure. I'm just trying to make it look nice, and generally, quite often in engineering, when it looks right, it kind of is right. Do you know what I mean? So if that's 140, we could then come down to at the top. So if that's 1.4 and that's 2.8, so we'll actually do 1.3 there, and we'll do 2.6 at the top. Just a moment ago I had 4 of these, and now I've got 3. I mean, how does that happen? It's funny. Mike M0 MSN has just been up to drop out the rest of the LDF 450. He said, this one here, he said, you should concrete into the ground and turn it into a lamppost. Right. A couple of little strategic moves here. Otherwise, the step ladders might get stuck forever. Lovely. One 1.4. Or 1.3 it was going to be, wasn't it? There. And I found the other one. It was lying on the floor out of the way. Okay. Aha, I found one little issue. I'll show you. So on the strain, that's the only thing that's happened is that's been pulled round. So I'll just fix that. But it's not broken, so that's handy. It just had a bit of a shock. To be honest, this is probably as much as we can do today until the proper rope turns up. I can't tension that properly. Well, we can take the slack off it, but as soon as we tension that, you won't be able to get anything in that end. Oh, I'll just use my fingers just to make it nice, you know. That's spinning already. If you wonder why in England, well, in Britain or the United Kingdom, we're often talking about the weather, it's because we never know from 1 minute to the next what it's going to do. As you can see, it's a lovely day today. It's bitterly cold though. But all right, this just has to stay like this until the rope turns up. As soon as the rope turns up, we can have this back up with the Yagi on it. I'd say about an hour and a half. So the whole rebuild, this has taken me so far with yesterday as well. Probably the whole thing is about 3.5 hours. put the rope on, another 2 hours, Yagi, say an hour. So it's about an 8-hour build once you've got everything ready. All right, so, you know, I always knew really it was going to come down, but I didn't know which bit. All right, I was just surprised. The one thing I didn't realise was the rope. I honestly thought the top aluminium was going to bend. Man, it never did. Anyway, that's it for now. All right, so tower's down. We're halfway through the rebuild. On the next one, rebuild part 2, we'll finish it and get 20 metres up in the air. All right, enjoy your radio, assuming you have an antenna. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.